Hello, friends. Nokia as a brand needs no introduction. For years, we have vowed on the build quality and performance of Nokia phones. It is my pleasure today to welcome HMD Global's Vice President, Mr. Sanmeet Singh Kochhar, on Tech Radar. Today, we will talk about Nokia phones, obviously, and we'll ask him a lot of questions and we'll try to understand what can we expect from brand Nokia in the year 2021. So, without further delay, let us get going. Welcome, Mr. Kochhar, on Tech Radar.
Hello, Jitendra. Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for having me, and it's good to be talking to you and to all your audience members.
Great, great. So, my first question to you, Mr. Kochhar, would be, compared to most other brands, HMD had very few devices that were announced last year. Now the new year has started, and we have two new devices and a pair of earbuds. Can you just please talk us through how the year went by, the last year, and about these new devices that we have launched?
Yes, so the last year has been quite good for us. In fact,
Mhm,
we have seen that the overall mobile phone demand has been quite resilient. And as we were coming out of lockdown,
mhm,
we grew. The demand has been very resilient and
mhm,
started to come back to normal. And we have seen very good response to the
mhm,
devices that we have launched. We launched the Nokia C3, which was a
mhm.
customized device for the Indian audience.
Indian
Then
market,
we
exactly.
also
Mhm,
launched the Nokia 5.3 earlier and then
mhm.
2.4 towards the end of the year.
End of the year.
Launched something called the replacement guarantee in India for the first time. So it's been a very good year for us,
Mhm,
both from a smartphones as well as for a feature phone point of view. In fact, we also launched a device called Nokia 5310 Express Music, and as we
exactly.
saw that people were looking for a digital detox as studies, work, entertainment
Mhm,
during the lockdown, everything was happening on the phone. We had very good device which was specifically for music, where people could listen to their favorite music, carry it around, which
mhm,
had dedicated keys for music, which on which you could listen to wireless FM, and then you don't have to worry about your battery because it had more than 20 days of standby battery. So
mhm,
the year 2020 was very good for us. But the good thing again is that we have started 2021 with a bang, wherein
mhm.
we launched the Nokia 5.4, and this is the one which I have in my hands. I hope
Awesome.
your viewers can see the device, and
Definitely.
it is equipped with the 48 megapixel quad
Mhm,
camera with cinema effects and also spatial audio. And with this, you can have advanced color grading when you are recording videos, which means it gives you a cinema effect. When you are viewing your videos, you get a same effect when when or your same experience when you are watching a
mhm,
movie in a cinema. So it's right, the silver screen effect you get on your videos, and it has you can record in 24 fps and without any shutter lag.
mhm.
So very good camera on this device, and then it's powered by a very strong and powerful Qualcomm Snapdragon 662 processor,
Mhm.
with this which is optimized for performance, and with the 6.39 inches punch hole display, it is
Mhm.
also optimized for a 2-day battery performance. And then it
Awesome.
comes, as you mentioned earlier, it comes with the Nokia quality, the build quality
Mhm.
of Nokia, wherein we are superior to our competitors by 33% as per the Counterpoint research. When
Mhm.
we look at drop test, or the thermal test, liquid damage, liquid test, or the whole when we put USB cable to the
Charging.
charger
Mhm.
to see whether it's working well or not. So in terms of this quality rigor, it is the best. And then finally, we have a very clear differentiation
Mhm.
from our competitors in terms of the software upgrade. So Nokia 5.4 now is ready for Android 11, and
Okay.
we also
Awesome.
promise the Android operating system which will come after Android 11.
Mhm.
That is also something which this phone is going to get upgraded to. So two
Awesome.
years and two operating system upgrades we promise for our
Mhm.
fans. So let's say 1.5 years down the line, when Google releases the latest Android operating system
Mhm.
after Android 11, even your phone would become like a new device when you're using that
Exactly.
with the new operating system software and new version.
Mhm.
And also when we have a promise of monthly security updates. And
Mhm.
Jitendra, this is very important because in today's times, people have their financial information, their bank account details,
Exactly.
their passwords, their intimate messages, their photos, everything is there on their phone,
Mhm.
and you need to sleep peacefully knowing well that your information on your phone is secure.
Secure.
And we have a promise of monthly security update for 3 years, and
Mhm.
therefore making it a very secure device. So this is the Nokia 5.4. It comes in two different colors. One is the
Mhm.
dust color, which is in my hand, and also the polar night, which is another very very beautiful looking color. So that's the Nokia 5.4. And then we also launched the Nokia 3.4, which for
Mhm.
the first time in the 3 series, we had the punch hole display, for the first time. And then
Mhm.
also the again, this is the 3.4 in my hand. It has a
Okay.
3 camera array, in a rounded design. And
Mhm.
also, it has a 3D texture design, which looks very premium and very
Mhm.
nice, nestles well in the hand, very nice look and feel of the device. Again, comes with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 460 processor, and comes in a with the 2-day battery life, again
Mhm.
optimized for performance and for a 2-day battery life, and comes at 11,999. The earlier Nokia 5.4 again comes in two different variants, 464 and 664, and would be available on nokia.com/phones and on Flipkart at 13,999 and 15,499 for the two variants respectively. So these were the two new smartphones that we launched, and we also launched the Nokia, Nokia Power
Earbuds.
earbuds, and
Mhm.
which is a perfect companion, I would say, for both the Nokia 5.4 and the Nokia 3.4, and you can listen to your favorite music anywhere you go, and you don't have to worry about rain or sweat. And it's protect has IPX7 protection or certification. So the ideal companion for Nokia 3.4 and 5.4 comes in a travel case which you can carry around. So
Sure.
so these were the three devices that we announced.
That's great. Awesome. Thanks a lot for showing us the devices as well for the audience, and it was really great. So interesting you talk about security. Well, I understand that there is a lot of focus on security these days. People are concerned about their data, their privacy. So how do you think Nokia is focusing on that specific factor?
Yes, and that's very, very important point,
Mhm.
Jitendra, that you raised.
Mhm.
And we have been, ever since we launched our, first smartphone, which is three and a
Mhm.
half years ago, as HMD Global, we
Mhm.
have been talking about this security, and we believe that, our fans need to be able to trust us not only from a hardware quality point of view, but also from a, security point of view. So today, when, like I said, you have a lot of your information on your phones, and especially the millennials, the younger people, they are spending more than 6 to 7 hours on their phone on a day-to-day basis, and have all of their information on their devices. It's important that they feel that their data is very secure, and
Mhm.
to that extent, not only we are providing monthly security updates for all our fans, so therefore your phone always has the latest in terms of security, right? And then also we have the data very secure, and we are GDPR compliant with the
Mhm.
servers in Finland and in Singapore. So all of their data is secured, and we have the promise. So the point is that we have been talking about it for the last 3.5 years, but as
Mhm.
we have now seen last year, when the whole geopolitical situation became what it was, at that time, the government of India took some very strong steps, strong measures, and that's when this whole discussion came to the fore, and the conversation started around it. And a lot more people are now aware that how security is very important on their device, and
Mhm.
that's how this this variable has become very very important, and everyone is looking for security. And our promise is that we provide the best security not only on high-end devices, but also on a device which is in the mid segment. So this Nokia 3.4 that we announced, it's
Mhm.
at 11,999, but even this device has a monthly security update and a regular security update for not one, not two, but 3 years, right? So next
Okay.
3 years, your device is future proof from a
Mhm.
security point of view. And I believe that this is a very, very strong differentiator, which one needs to take into account when you are choosing a phone.
Exactly. That's a very valid point. So again, again taking a cue from your response, we recently heard that HMD has collaborated with Dixon. So how is that panning out, and how when do we start seeing phones manufactured by Dixon in India?
Yes, so very, very important point, Jitendra. And you would know that last year, our honorable
Mhm,
Prime Minister,
mhm.
gave us the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat. And
Okay.
you know that in the phone industry, a lot of the
Mhm,
ecosystem players and the ecosystem exists in China. And
mhm,
our focus is on, and we are today the only European global brand, HMD
mhm,
Global with Nokia smartphones is the only European global brand that exists in the ecosystem, and we
mhm,
are focused on how we can work with our partners in India to develop the overall phone manufacturing ecosystem in India, right? So we are
correct.
looking at not only component suppliers, so with how we can source components from within India, but also how we can work with some of the Indian suppliers, to see an Indian EMS partners to see
Mhm,
how we can build this ecosystem and move in this direction of Atmanirbhar Bharat. And the two devices, the two smartphones that are talked about today, Nokia
mhm,
5.4 and Nokia 3.4, both are being manufactured with in collaboration with Dixon Technologies, as you mentioned.
awesome.
And
Mhm,
even last year, we had a device Nokia C3, which was where we worked with an Indian manufacturer
mhm.
to launch that device. So India market is important for us, not only for our fans, not only because of the trust that the fans have on the Nokia brand, but also because we see India as an important destination for sourcing for our overall, enhancing our overall supply chain capabilities.
Awesome. This adds to it, the Nokia brand and made in India thing. So this definitely adds a level of trust for the customers.
Yes, and just to add,
Mhm,
even today, we make lakhs of phones every month, and all of those are
mhm.
made in India. 100% of our devices that we sell today are made in India.
That's awesome. That's really great. Great. So moving on to the next one, India is a very price sensitive market, and you know it very well. And the need of value for money devices has grown leaps and bounds in last a few years. While HMD, over the last year or so has specifically focused on mid-segment and budget devices. So, is there a change we can expect this year? Can we, go towards an aggressive device which beats the barriers?
Yes. So, very good point. And
Mhm,
India, like you said, has been very price sensitive
mhm,
and has been very commoditized. I would say
mhm,
we are people are looking at, from a very, very specs point of view or hardware point of
mhm,
view, price value equation, if I may say that, if
mhm.
it is 2 GB, then, it becomes 3 GB, what should be the price? Or if it's a 6.3 inch versus 6 inch screen,
Exactly.
and whether it is a two camera versus three camera versus a four camera, and you realize that while you have bought this device with a 2 GB at a certain price, but after 3 months there's another device with 3 GB which comes at the same price, right? So your device has become obsolete, right? And same thing
Mhm,
happens with the camera, where you have bought a device with, let's say, a 13 megapixel camera, and then suddenly you see there's something which is 16 megapixel at the same price, or
mhm,
with an additional camera, or with a 24 megapixel camera, or with a better selfie camera. So all of these things keep changing quite quickly, and the
mhm,
device is becoming the whole ecosystem is becoming very commoditized and obsolete very fast. And after some time, people are forced to change their device, because you see that either it is hanging, or the battery performance is going down, or your device is becoming very slow. And
mhm,
we have a very different take on this. We don't look at this commoditization or buying phones like onions and potatoes, where just compare price and specs and buy at that time. We
mhm.
believe that one needs to look at the overall lifetime experience of the device, right?
Okay.
So for example, if you're buying let's say a device on Android Oreo, or let's
Mhm,
say an 8,000 rupees you buy an Android Oreo device, let's say a competition device on Android Oreo, chances are that after 1.5 year, that device would still remain on Android Oreo. And like I explained,
mhm,
it would be obsolete, and you may need to be forced to change that device. Whereas the Nokia device, while you have bought on Android Oreo,
mhm,
after 6 to 7 months, there's a chance, and in all likelihood, it would have moved to Android Pie, right? And then after another 6 7 months it would move to Android 10. So
10.
your device has a completely new operating system, and
Mhm.
all the advancements which are happening today in terms of software powered by
Mhm.
machine learning and artificial intelligence, which could be in the form of adaptive battery or adaptive screen or digital health, those come into your device because you have a new software. And it's like, you're buying a
Mhm.
car and after 2 years you have a new engine, so you have a very new software on the device. And
Mhm.
therefore you have a better experience and you're not forced to change the device. And that's what our focus, our strategy has been. That's been a key differentiator for us, and that's what we have focused on for the last 3.5 years. And we believe that this and apart from that, so I spoke about the software upgrade,
Mhm.
also the security and the fact that we are bringing the pure Android, where you don't get the bloatware, you're not getting
Totally.
the
Mhm.
unwanted applications which you are forced to use, or which someone could use
Exactly.
your data for
Mhm.
selling ads, or trying to make money on your data. So that's something we definitely refrain from and focus on the pure Android and how we get the best experience for our fans on that
Interesting.
throughout the
So
lifetime of the device.
great. So interesting. You talk about the lifetime of the device. But what I am looking at is the acquisition cost. As a consumer, as a layman who goes to a market, who goes to a shop and sees, okay, there's an X device which offers 18-watt fast charging, is available at this particular price range, has 128 GB of storage, onboard storage already. And then I have a Nokia device which is coming at around same price, but 64 GB of storage and only 10 watt of fast charging. If we talk about the Nokia 5.4, like that has just been launched. So
Yes, yes.
how do we tackle that particular customer?
So again, see,
Hmm.
as I said, there could be different customers who
Hmm.
are looking at different features, and we try to listen to our fans and see
Hmm.
what is the optimal combination in our device. How much we need to focus on the camera, on the screen, the refresh
Hmm.
rate, the fast charging, or the memory and the design. So we try to optimize, or the battery, we try to optimize each of these parameters to arrive
Hmm.
at an ideal combination which is optimized for user experience and which is what our fans want. So that's what
Hmm.
we focus on. But as I said, instead of, when fans are buying the device, they need to look at, see, right now I am getting this in terms
Hmm.
of hardware, but what would happen towards the lifetime of the device? Would I get a monthly security update on this device
Hmm.
vis-a-vis a competition, on a Nokia device vis-a-vis a competition device? Would I get a new operating system upgrade when I am
Hmm.
buying this device after 6 7 months or after
Hmm.
10 months? Then after another 7 months after that, which means 1.5 years from when I bought the device, or
Hmm.
1 year to 3 months from when I bought the device, would I get another operating system upgrade on this device? So these are factors that you need to build in into your purchase decision in the whole hierarchy of things.
Hmm.
This, in my view, would be very high in the hierarchy when you are buying the device, rather than just buying, as I said, on in a commoditized way. You are just looking at the time of the purchase, what is the acquisition cost versus what is the cost versus the value that I get throughout my
Over a period of time.
experience of the device over the lifetime of the device.
Hmm.
I think this is a very important distinction that consumers are making now, and especially as I explained that these issues are coming to the forefront, which is
Hmm.
why these conversations are happening as we speak, and these are happening across different platforms with and also across different user segments.
Great. So another thing that I personally have asked a lot of people, a lot of brands, we add smartphone, the smartphones come with four quad camera setup with 2 megapixel macro shooter or a depth sensor. How important is that? As in, can't we just focus on two particular sensors and have them produce great results rather than having multiple sensors, which obviously not a lot of people agree these days that 2 megapixel depth sensor does not shoot any great images. So
Yes, yes.
why do we have those?
Yes, yes. I think it's a very important point, and it is just how consumers want to use the camera. So for example, some of our fans want to have an option of having, let's say, a macro camera for you are shooting images which are close by. or when they are using so for ultra wide camera for
Mhm.
using something to have a slightly bigger frame, or the depth sensor, to have a good
Better
view.
portrait.
Yes, a better portrait in especially images where there is depth. So yeah, different people have different requirements, and camera is an important aspect when people are looking for this phone. So which is why one of the things that we have got in this 5.4 is the whole cinema effect. And so therefore, if you have a side hustle, so for example, if you are a designer or a
Mhm.
blogger or an influencer or a
Mhm.
writer, photographer, a DJ, where you want to create a lot of content, then
Mhm.
this becomes an ideal phone for you.
Okay. So, uh, when do we expect, a next real flagship from HMD, from Nokia? When, because it's been some time that we've seen a device which is which has got the top end specs. When can we expect that?
Yes, and so one of the things we have
Mhm.
always said we would do, and we
Mhm.
have done as well, is
Mhm.
to bring to democratize technology.
Mhm.
To democratize technology.
Mhm.
That's always been our endeavor. In fact, if you look at one of the I spoke about this operating system upgrade. You
Mhm.
see, in the competition, these operating system upgrades would happen only at a flagship. On a flagship device, right? It does
Mhm.
not happen on the mid-end devices, and we are trying
Mhm.
to bring that even to our mid-end devices. Similarly, we have the whole performance. If I talk about the camera performance, we had recently launched a device called 8.8.3 5G,
Mhm.
and it had this cinema effects were there on that, and that's something which we have brought now to the 5.4 Nokia
Mhm.
5.4, which has the same cinema effects which we had on the Nokia
Mhm.
8.3 5G. So I think our endeavor would always be to bring the flagship aspects and the experiences on our mid-range devices, or prices which devices which are much better priced than the flagship devices, because we
Mhm.
want to democratize technology. We believe that these flagship features should be available not only to select people who can spend a
Mhm.
certain amount of money, but to the mass audience. And this is one of the reasons that we have got these features on these a device like a 5.4, which
Mhm.
is available in the range of 15,000 rupees.
Right. But then there's a lot of consumers, a lot of users who want to purchase a premium device. We
Yes,
have that's how we see, a lot of brands have evolved over the year. A brand itself made out, brand was made out of selling, these devices. So for those particular customers, they would definitely not go for a 5.4
yes.
or so. What is there for them?
Yes, so last year, one of the things we also
Mhm.
said, Jitendra, was that in August last year we announced that we have had some of the ecosystems
Mhm.
players invest in our
Mhm.
company. In fact, Google,
Exactly.
Qualcomm, and Nokia Technologies invested in HMD Global. And one of
Mhm.
the priorities that we had set for ourselves was that we bring 5G to the masses, and
Awesome.
that's one of the things that we are working on how
Mhm.
we can bring 5G to the audience, and that's something that we are working on. But as you know, it's very difficult to comment on future launches or future devices and what we are going to do in future, which is why I'm very keen to talk about what we have right now. Getting everyone to speculate on what's going to happen in the future.
I was trying to get that bit of out of you so that we have some exclusive at the end of. Perfect. I understand that. I understand that part. So again, my question. The next question comes out from your previous response. You spoke about software updates, but
Yes,
and then Nokia phones had been one of the few devices which were getting the software updates before any other device. But
yes.
off late, I see there is a slight delay in that happening. Any specific reason? What has changed? As in,
Not
I have a device there with me. It's still running on Android 10, and we are already like what Android 11 is already there for some time. We don't have that update. While new devices which are launching now, like I would, if I were to name Vivo, which launched some time back, Vivo V20 series, that launched with Android 11 out of the box.
Yes. So there's
Hmm.
a difference. See, when we have a device which is coming in, it can
Hmm.
launch on an Android 11, but there are certain devices which are already running on Android
Hmm.
10 in the market. So what happens is we have a very strong team in India. Whenever there is a new software which comes, it is tested. It is first of all on a test device. It is the software is put, and then
Definitely.
we test the beta version, and then we test across different operators, across different test parameters to make sure the device is bug free, and only then that software version goes into the market. So that's how we work on different devices, and we have already started the Android 11 release. So there are some devices which already have Android 11, and maybe the one that you're using right now does not have, but it will come very soon. In fact, Counterpoint had done a research towards the end of 2020 where they had done a research on which are the devices which are getting upgraded fastest, and the number of devices in which Nokia had ranked number one amongst all the devices. Amongst all the
Exactly.
handset manufacturers, Nokia was number one in terms of software upgrade. Not only, not only amongst the fastest, but also in the lower price points.
Lowest value.
10,000, 8,000 rupees devices were also upgrading the fastest to Android. So, this is an external research which has been there, which I'm quoting, and I'm sure we'll continue to maintain that position. So, that because that's one of the key focus areas and
Exactly.
promises that we have.
Definitely, definitely. That's something very important. So, you mentioned about the launch of earbuds.
Yes.
So, what else do we expect? Are like the previous year there were a lot of remote learning. A lot of people were doing studying remotely. So, do we think do you think there would be any other products like a tablet or something coming out this year to cater to that particular audience, or any other product that you have in your mind?
Yes, so we have an exclusive license with Nokia for smartphones, feature phones, and tablets. And again, it's a question on what, not only what devices, but what categories we'll get into in future. And you know that it's very difficult for me to comment at this stage on what's going to happen in the future. I want to just say that we are focused very much on what we have in our current lineup, and how we can get more and more fans to use those devices and to be able to deliver on the expectations that our dear fans have from us in India. Because so last year in the trust rankings, we were rated amongst or ranked amongst the top two trusted brands in mobile phones, and so therefore that's the expectation that everyone has from us, and we are focused on delivering on those expectations, and as I said, in a very different way from how our competitors are doing. And that's our endeavor, and that's what we want to continue to focus on.
That's great. That's great. That's all from my end. These are the questions that I had, and I really hope that 2021 would be another great year for Nokia and HMD. And wishing you all the very best.
So thanks so much, Jitendra,
Thanks.
and thanks so much for all your fans and your audience members for listening in. I'm wishing the best to you and to all your audience members, and please take care. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for taking our time.